Right, we are live. There we go. Hopefully everyone can hear us this morning as well. You've eaten quite a bit there. I'll go back to that just now. Thank you. Right, I feel like I've got the aircon on still. I should have kept the remote for us. I'm going to freeze after a while. Okay, telling more people that we are on. Corne, good morning. Thank you for joining. Can you let me know if we are okay sound-wise, please? Trudy, yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, we've got a couple of people online there already, so thank you so much. So thanks everybody for joining this morning, and thank you very much to my dear Prissy Govender from BETTERBONDSA, who's joining me for a second time.
Oh, yes, thanks,
yeah, thank you.
It's fun being with you and on your coffee chat.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you so much. At least we always get to have a little breaky as well, which is so nice. True. Thank you. The only person that I actually eat with when I'm doing the coffee chats, by the way.
Oh, is it?
But that's because good. We're so used to being together in the office.
Oh, yeah. True.
So, Prissy, last time we were together, we chatted about employed people and bonds. And obviously we'll just touch on that briefly today, but I thought maybe we could chat more a little bit about self-employed people and how we can help them get bonds.
Yes.
Because there are quite a lot of people out there that need some advice and guidance, and certainly for any agents that are watching, just for everybody to brush up on what's happening in the marketplace at the moment.
Yes, Declan. And self-employed clients play a huge role in the market that we are in. There's lots of self-employed clients. And to me, the issue here is what happens is when a self-employed client make an offer, that's when they start the process with their accountants to get documents in order. Okay. And that normally takes forever with accountants because right now, the requirements to submit an application for a self-employed client is to have your signed financials for 2020. I mean, 20 is, you're not really calling for it, but they get away with 20. Okay. 21, 22, that's Feb 21, Feb 22, and up-to-date management accounts.
Okay, which a lot of people don't have that up-to-date.
They don't have it. And most often, clients do not even have the 22, the Feb 22 in order.
Yes.
So that normally takes a while, and it's huge issues with it when it comes to the accountants getting that in time, because often your sale agreement time is 21 days or 30 days.
Yeah, because normally for self-employed we'll put there sort of 30 days, but that includes weekends, which is very tough. Yes.
So most often the accountants cannot meet that deadline when it comes to those documents. And then if there's a backup offer and that's your deal, then there's huge issues and pressures on.
Yeah.
So what I often like to say to agents, when you know they're self-employed, don't get too involved in it. Just refer the clients to me. Yes. Let me take them through that process. So they know upfront, okay, this is what I need to get with my accountant. So they start that process while they're looking at the properties.
Yes. So can we do a pre-approval beforehand when we start interacting with them and showing them houses if they're self-employed?
We can work in getting the documents up in order. With self-employed clients, you can get, often I find self-employed clients, their business is doing a huge turnover, but they do not take a huge income.
Yes.
So they may only take 50,000 rand a month, which is sufficient for their daily living expenses, and most of the expenses sometimes run through the business.
Yes, so that was going to be one of my questions, is what happens if they're getting a small salary through their personal account and most of the expenses are going through the business.
So if I work with them up front and you say, okay, do me a pre-approval, I'll probably use the 50 and say, okay, Declan, you qualify for 50,000. Okay, 50,000 will give you around about 1.8 million bonds. But if when you actually come, it's not really the right thing because your business is paying for your petrol, your cell phone, your insurance, which is all your income, which can be added on.
Okay.
So what I normally tell clients, get your docs in order, but when you find the property, then we really work with the income with the accountant. There's no point in doing that up front if you're not sure what you're looking for.
Yes, but generally by the time people start looking, they should have all their financials up to date from the previous years, and it's just the management. I know, and I suppose COVID also didn't help people in terms of, like you say, 2020 financials probably are non-existent or 2021, because it's obviously from March 2020
Yes.
2021, they can't be the best financials.
Can't be
for
the
most
best, but
people.
I think, if you have a valid explanation, the banks, they understand what happened in that period. So we have a valid explanation, and then we show the growth back into the financial year.
Okay.
We're working around that.
All
so
right.
that's not an issue really, if you can give me a valid explanation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then most people that we have in our area, and I don't know about other areas, because I know you work in lots of areas, in terms of self-employed, are they mainly like a one-man band who's got his little sole proprietorship where everything's running through his bank account, or does he have like a PTY limited and then still a personal account where there's only one owner in the PTY or one director in the PTY?
Okay. So you have a company which you can have more than one director.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So there it's assessed differently. For a company, you need audited financials.
Okay.
Signed off by the client and the accountant. They will not accept unaudited financials.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And that's really scrutinized with the way the income and expenditure and all your assets and liabilities and that on a company.
Mm-hmm.
Because the client, most often in a company, the client takes an income every month, like more or less drawings. But when you're a sole proprietor, you are the business. You know.
Okay.
So you don't need to have audited financials. Income and expenditure is acceptable. Still for the same period, 2021, 2022, and up-to-date management accounts, which can be signed off by the client.
Yes.
You don't need to have an auditor financials for that.
Okay.
And when it comes to sole prop, your profits is your income. So if you're earning 100,000 a month and your expenses is 20 a month, which is just, then your 80,000 is your income.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so
that also then helps with your affordability.
Helps with your
So
affordability.
in a sole prop, generally, then everything's going to be going through their one account.
To the one account, you can even use your personal account as your business account.
Okay.
But some clients may have it like Dietland trading as XYZ properties.
Okay.
So, but that's still you and that's your account. It can be used, or you could just have Dietland Becker and all your expenses going there, and you're a sole prop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then,
but there again as well. So you're a sole prop. You're earning 100,000. Your petrol is paid for, which would be your expenses. So that's all your income still at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you are working for a company, you're still going to have that petrol, cell phone, that you pay.
Okay,
So it's just each client, you look at it and you present it to the bank in a way that they see what's happening in your business.
but they've got to obviously see the money coming into
oh
their account.
yes, it's got to tie up.
So what happens in an instance, which we've had the odd few, where there's a company yet to be formed, and I know on the sale agreement you've got 30 days in which to form the company. But how do you then do that bond application?
The banks don't really accept that application because what happens, company to be formed, then there's no company name, because when you submit a company to be formed application to the bank, you got to say my business name is XYZ CC. Now and with a CK number.
Yes.
So that's how you submit. So there's no CK number if it's not yet formed. And you
sometimes people will say, "Oh, we're just going to buy a shelf company," but I mean, it still has to be formed in terms of changing shareholders and directors.
Correct.
Et
yes. So
it still takes time.
Yeah. So you need to provide me with that company document, and that company document must reflect Dietland Becker owns this company.
Yes.
It can't belong to Prissy.
Okay.
So it's not your company.
Yes.
Now, if you cannot submit an application like that to the bank.
Okay.
So let's just say you say, okay, let me buy it in my name, which is Dietland, and then when my company is formed, we'll change it. It doesn't work like that. We have to withdraw Dietland's application out and submit an application in the name of the business with all the business information.
Okay. And then how does it work then with a trust? Not that we deal with many trusts, but would they be applying in their personal capacity as self-employed if they're going to buy in their trust, or is the trust running?
Trust as you do it through, it's a legal entity.
Okay. So they've got their own business accounts and they'll have their own financials.
Yeah, so most often you find a trust is not trading. So you may have a trust with you and your two kids, but it's purely property owning. It's not to trade. You're not trading. But the trust is funded by your property business.
Okay.
You see, so you do the bond in the name of the trust, but we look at your property business to fund.
Yes.
To fund the trust.
Okay.
To fund repayment ability.
Yeah. If anybody's got any questions for Prissy, please just pop them through. I can see what's going on screen. So if you've got anything, is it much of? Sorry, I've missed that one there.
Is it?
Yeah, something, or is it just? I can't read it because the books are in the way. Let's just see there. Or is it much of a muchness? Self-employed, or I've missed the first half of the question. Okay, I'll come back to that. So in terms of self-employed, harder requirements, because we were saying we need to have the financials, management accounts.
22 and up-to-date management accounts.
Yes.
Sometimes the banks see that they're not happy with what's in front of them. They could call 20 and
19. Oh, okay. Especially if a company's been trading for a lot longer.
Yeah, yes. or shorter period. If they say, okay, this company only just started in 2018, and let's just see what happened from the time it started to now to make a decision.
Okay. One of the questions that always crops up with us agents and people in the industry is what happens with commission earners?
Commission earners? You know, I don't know why.
I'm just going to have a look at that question.
Commission earners feel that, you know, they're at risk, but they really are not. So basically what happens with commission earners, you take your last 6 months.
Yes.
Income, and let's just say, well, commission is obviously erratic, so it varies every month. The minute your income is erratic, you've got to provide 6 months, and then we do an average. So if 1 month you may earn nothing, but the month before you earn 200 and 300. So the last 6 months, you average 100 a month, then that's the income you will use.
Okay.
But sometimes in certain businesses, the culture is different, like property.
Yes.
So we find, okay, your last 6 months wasn't the greatest, but your last 12 months
so
can give you a better
earning
capacity. So we then pull that through. And normally it's your IT 34 or your IRP 5 that we call for and average it. And when you're presenting it to the bank, they can see, okay, the capacity is there to an higher income, even though you didn't in the last 2 months.
Yes.
Or they may even call for the previous year IT 34, IRP 5, and just gauge what the clients.
And then in terms of payment profiles, because I know we chatted last time in terms of RTC and payments and credit scoring, etc. I mean, we're working with a lady at the moment where I know that she's been erratic in her payments, but she's paying them, but not the full amount. Some months it's more, some months it's less. Yeah. So it is affecting her credit scoring. So does that then affect her interest rate down the line?
And your loan amount. So
and the loan
credit
amount.
scoring is one of the biggest factors when it's an application is scored with the bank. That's where they get a profile of how the client is conducting their business to lend them more money. So for the bank, if you've got credit at the moment which you're not conducting in a manner that's acceptable, then they're nervous to give you more money.
Yes.
And a home loan, you've got to prove sustainability for a longer period, over 20 years, as opposed to a vehicle or a credit card. So often you'll find a client saying, oh, but I've just bought a car and that was fine. But vehicle, you're just proving sustainability for 4, 5 or 6 years maybe maximum.
As opposed to the 20 or
30 years for the bond. So the bank needs to. So how the bank does it is they have credit score modules. So each credit for a credit card, the module is different to vehicle and to home loan. So you'll find for a home loan, higher requirements. So when you feed your information into the system, you need to meet higher requirements there than you would have to for a vehicle or a credit card. And they're guided by this credit score. And the bank cannot override a credit score like they used to do previously because of all the acts, PICA Act and the POPI Act, all the acts that's come through.
So all of that's actually made it more onerous.
Absolutely. So no credit guy in the bank is going to put his job at risk and override a poor credit score rating to give you a loan. Because if that loan goes sour,
that's that person.
Then they're going to say, right, how did you give him this loan? So
all right.
So that's
so the question there that I went back and double checked is, are any of the banks more lenient in terms of giving the bonds, or are they all pretty much of a muchness, or which banks give more bonds to self-employed versus employed?
So it's pretty much of a muchness, but I had the same question by a client yesterday, to be quite honest.
Oh, wow.
So
there you go.
He was quite surprised. I mean, his own bank
Yes.
couldn't give him what another bank was giving him.
Yes.
So I said that, banks at different stages in the year or time, they're looking for market share.
Okay.
So when a bank has got enough market share, then the credit is cheaper than a bank that has low market share.
Okay.
So let's say Bank A has got a decent market share. They're not running after business. They can take risk and they can and make their credit cheaper to you and attract more clients.
Yes.
While Bank B is market share in home loans is not good. So they want the best of clients.
Okay.
So that they don't end up with bad debts.
Okay.
So to drop their market share. So this bank can give you a good rate because they've got a buffer to take a risk and attract you as a new client because they've got this. But your bank may not be looking for market share, they're looking for good clients. So the credit is going to be expensive to attract good clients. So it's clients often say, oh no, I'm going to my bank.
Yes.
I'm sure they're going to give me the best rate. It does not work like that.
Yeah.
So it just depends which bank is looking for market share
at the
they
time.
will attract good clients with good rates to make up their share.
So that's one of the other things that we often have, especially with self-employed people, is they always say, oh, I'm going to go to my bank. I've been banking with them for 10, 15, 20 years. They're going to give me a great interest rate. I know they will. And
we've proven that.
And then 9 out of 10 times, they come to us at the 11th hour and you pull the rabbit out of the hat every time. And do you want to just explain then what type of offerings you might be able to get from the bank?
What happens is sometimes with your bank, they have your whole life story.
Yes.
They have a track record, your history and all of that. So they've got you as a client already. So they think they've got you. You're going to...
Because you've been with them for 10, 20 years.
But, and then they know, oh, okay, down the line, you had a problem with a credit card from a few years back, because there's history.
Yes.
And then they start pulling out that, and they say, okay, you have a personal loan, which you didn't pay in 2 months, and, that all start coming in. But let's go to a fresh bank with your documents. They don't have a track record.
Okay.
So they're looking at what you present to them now with, there's your financials, you've been doing brilliant compared to what happened 5 years down the line where you did have a dip,
yes,
did go through a patch, but you're back on track. So now they got history of that, and they start wanting information from there and explanations. But sometimes they eventually come to the party, but it's often it's a fight.
Yes.
It's a challenge.
So is that then where the bank will then say, they bank with A and now we're moving them across to B because B's offered them a better interest rate because of what you're saying, that there's only what information we're presenting there with now. Yeah. And sometimes they come up with a really great offering where sometimes they say, okay, we'll give you the home loan. And sometimes they say move your entire banking across.
Yes, then we get bankers involved. We can we can arrange. Okay, we've done your home loan, client. You're happy with that. Now then it's okay. I'm so tired of my bank with what's happened. So we get a private banker from the bank to contact the client. You sit where you are. You don't even need to move out your seat. Everything gets taken care of.
Everything gets taken care of. Okay, so we do have those options.
Absolutely.
So always advise people that no matter what, even if you are going to approach your own bank, still try and work through you because you might be able to get a better interest rate because you've got presenting current information as opposed to 5-10 years worth of history, which
a present bank would have.
Which the present bank has got. And then also not every bank will say bring all your banking across. They might just offer you the bond at a better interest rate.
So most often the most important thing is the bank wants the debit order to go off their account.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean to say your salary and your income and all other transactions need to move across. So what I advise a client, take advantage. They'll give you a rate and they'll say, okay, I'll approve you this loan. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
At prime minus 0.5. Prime at the moment is 9.75. So we'll give it to you at 9.25. And if you have your debit order off our bank account, we'll give you a further 0.5, which will take you down to 8.75. So you don't need to have a transactional account with them. You just need to have an active account. So basically what you need to do is you cannot say, okay, I'll open this account. You can open the cheapest account that the bank has to offer.
Yes.
Some banks have got an account that you only pay R5 a month.
Okay.
To service,
Yes.
have a debit order off.
Oh, wow.
So that's where I get the clients to go into one of those accounts. So you open that account, but you can't say, okay, for the next 3 months, my installments is 10,000 a month. I'll put 30,000, which will pay. It has to be active. So you've got to put in my debit order money every month, 10,
and just keep it transactional like that.
Keep it active. You can't just leave it there and say this money should take care of that debit order for the next few months.
All right.
It's got to be active.
It has to be active and transactional. So just interesting, you're talking about interest rates and prime now at 9.75, because when we first met in August, it was 9%.
It was 9. It went up on the 22nd of September.
Yes. Yeah. And are they meeting again now? I think they're meeting now in November.
So currently, the inflation rate is still very high, which is 7.6.
Yes.
So obviously the interest rate is governed by the inflation, which is very high, and it doesn't look like it's coming down. It's I mean, there's so many factors external.
Yes, so much.
So it looks like it. So we're predicting, it's purely prediction. I hope it doesn't happen. At 0.05 before the end of November.
I know. Well, I remember at the beginning of the year, everybody saying it was only going to go up by 2% by January, and it's like, it's already done that. But at the moment, we're still lower than we were when we went into COVID.
Yes.
So we are still okay for now. Are there any other questions there? No, there's none other at the moment. And then otherwise, Prissy, I think you've pretty much covered everything that I was going to chat to you about. Bond approvals. Just on conditions of the bond. Have you noticed any funny stipulations other than just selling a home, etc., or cancelling a bond on a property?
Not really. There's normal conditions that the bank will have standard conditions on a bond, which is normal, which can be met. The only time, it's subject to selling will come in, which is out of the normal. And then if the bank have to pick up any maybe defects on the property, if they wanted it fixed or changed or prior to registration.
Okay, so you have picked that up.
That can happen, but that's purely if there's a defect on the property. There's nothing, then those are not. And then
cancellation of a previous bond is quite normal as a bond condition as well.
Okay. That's if it's subject to selling. If there's no conditions, then those conditions are not.
All right. Okay.
And that's normally like sometimes the bank may call for plans. Yes. So, that depends. So when before a valuer goes out to the properties, he has already know this property has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen and this. But when he gets to the property and he says, oh no, there's 3 bathrooms, scullery, and so stuff has happened there. Yes. So then that's when they'll call for the plans to make sure it's on the plans, and a client or a seller just didn't do the renovations
without doing the plans.
It's also good for the buyer to know that
everything's
in order. But often you may find sometimes a seller did it, but he didn't put it on plans. But then we go back to the bank and we have a conversation with them and say, guys, the seller is sorting this out. Let's make it a condition prior to registration. This will be done. So it gives the seller time while the attorneys and stuff are getting the work done on rates and clearances and all that to get the plans in order.
So you have seen it as well?
Yes, it happens.
That's fine, because I talk about plans all the time.
But it's not the normal.
It's not the normal,
but if it comes up, it's not the it kills the deal.
No, we can work with
around
it. But just sellers at that point in time do have to then...
You've got to now make a plan and get this sorted.
All right. No, that's perfect. Anything else you want to say and add in?
So.
Because, you're always so amazing and phenomenal. I love it.
Thank you.
Just let you talk, because you just know everything about bonds. And you're so amazing because you always just reply to me. Thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure.
So, I don't know if there were any other questions there, but if you've got any other questions for Prissy, please just pop them through to me. She does help me and reply. Otherwise, because I know Prissy's always very, very busy, and she's got an amazing team of ladies in the office as well that helps us with any bond questions, bond pre-approvals, whether you're self-employed or employed. So please just send them along. And if you've got any questions, just want to do a private sale as well, because I know there are a couple of private sales that you've done for people as well, where I've also actually helped them, even though they're private sales.
Absolutely. No, I can do ones anywhere in the country.
Anywhere in the country, yes. And then also just in terms of valuations, etc., it's get in touch, chat about your properties, getting it on the market, make sure all your business financials are in place, the plans are in place. Now it is November already. And let's get ready for the new year and start planning. So chat to Prissy as well in the interim. So thank you so much, everyone. We will see you next Tuesday. Enjoy your early Christmas party in the rain on the beach today.
No, thanks. I'm not looking forward to that.
Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you. Bye.